This Travis squad is a pretty decent early game team. Essentially what happens is Travis prevents most attacks from hitting the back line, and he just evasion tanks everything, and the only weakness he has are true strike abilities, which can be blocked by a lane, and you can actually prioritize a lane to only block in the front row. Now in this case I have a catch-all for Noble Guard, but he will prioritize trying to Noble Guard front row when his HP is like low, so it resets his passive point. He'll try to Luminous Guard after that, and then he'll try to Noble Guard anyone. Now, if she gets attacked before him and he would die, you can always just disable it so that she just eats damage. Now, the setup for this team is that we're using early things. Like, this is like an early team, right? Like, this is not a 4-man team. So we have Viper Fang for some armor penetration and extra damage. We only want to poison things with 1 or more AP, otherwise it does nothing. So he'll default to Lean Edge otherwise. Now, if you need the heal from Lean Edge, and you know you don't need Poison Slash, you can disable it. So you just push in the right thumbstick to do that. These are with items you get super early as well. So Templar Shield is on Joseph. Viper Fang is from the first Archer Village that you save. Lapis Pendants you can get pretty early on. And we're just going for Lean Edge, heal, Poison Slash damage from Elaine. And these two, he evasion tanks the front, and he protects the evasion tank, so they basically become unkillable. And then situationally, what you'll want to do is reposition like this. There will be instances where he will get killed just due to randomness, like low percent hits will go through, so then you can throw your tank in the front. You can also switch Lapis Pendants for Gauntlets, which are a pretty early thing as well to get more guard rate. That's totally fine if you want to switch like this. And then, of course, Chloe can be replaced with Clive or Joseph. Now, in this case, what she does is she's actually going to powerful call Elaine and Travis to get a damage increase on both of them for a single hit. She also can Unwavering Spear, True Thrust. So you can disable or enable this with right thumbstick as needed. So if there's enemy scouts, enemy flyers you need to hit, you can set up the conditions here and then disable it if you don't need it, because it actually has less damage than Long Thrust. And then, of course, she powerful calls, and she'll only first aid at the end of battle. And you can, of course, disable this if you want to have her just powerful call Elaine and then first aid. So this way, she'll first aid the lowest percent to patch heal. So if someone did take damage, they'll heal. And then for Elaine, if you don't want the Poison Slash, now Elaine can super heal himself. She can patch someone up. He should generally not be getting hit outside of assist, like range assist and so on. And then for her build, Unwavering Spear, Lapis Pendant, Dancer's Bracelet. The Lapis Pendant is nice, but if you don't have it, that's fine. She'll still Dancer's Bracelet or First Aid. She'll just do one or the other. Unwavering Spear to hit super avoid evasive enemies. And then on Travis, he has Templar Sword for damage, Silken Scarf, and Lucky Coin for avoid. And he also gets crit 20 from Lucky Coin. Lucky Coin you get from doing the Angel quest and then accepting Sharon into your team. For the next team, we'll go over Lex's unit because everyone likes Lex. Lex, he's actually not bad early on. If you make him the leader, he's really good on certain maps where there's a bunch of archer spam because of his leader bonus, take less damage from range assists. So certain maps that just have obnoxious levels of archers, he helps with that. Now that does not affect magic assist. That is a completely different thing. So if you're getting magic assisted, he will not be your guy, but Sanguine Blade is really good for him. It allows him to heal himself and to kind of have more staying power. Baroque Shield is just a generic shield. Any shield is fine, like Recruit Shield, Templars, whatever you want to throw on him, Bronze Shield even. Gauntlets are also decent for him. Early game, you're not going to be having these really good passive items, like these really good artifacts. So throwing Gauntlets on him is fine, gets his guard rate to around like 50 something, and Sanguine Blade lets him heal. He also can block for the back line. He only can block one in this case, but he also can block for himself. And this soldier that I recruited, because you can recruit soldiers early, also has Dancer's Bracelets. So Dancer's Bracelet is something you can get early. After you do the Witch's quests, you can buy one. I think you can buy one from another shop in the early game somewhere. Runic Spear you get from the Witch's swamp town that you have to fix. So this is also pretty nice. So this can allow a soldier to target armors, and you can actually only magic thrust if there's armors. Otherwise, you can use the long thrust, which does have effectiveness versus calves. In the case of Runic Spear, you usually want to still magic attack, even if there aren't armors, unless the long thrust damage matters. just because it gives you 150 magic potency, and also the runic spear has more magical damage bonus than physical attack. But situationally, you can just like do this or change conditions for these. But in this case, the important things are armor penetration spear, dancer's bracelets to boost Clive with powerful call. And then of course you can disable that if you need the heal, so she can spot heal. So Lex self heals, this can spot heal, damage boost, this can just go for kills. Now the weapon, whatever weapon you can get him on, if you want to get him on like Templar Spear from the Angel Shop, that can be good. Shield, the best shield for him is the Battler Shield. It gives him more damage. Now if you can get him a Carnelian Pendant early, you should. But if you can't, you might as well just go for something like Warrior's Medallion, just to get his damage up. As long as he's killing, he's resetting his Assaulting Lance. So if you powerful call, you Warrior's Medallion, he should be doing pretty well. So that is this team. So this is kind of like a slow pushing bunker buster that can deal with archers. Now, if you want to change this up to be a dive team, you just change the party leader to Clive, and now Clive has, you know, front line, some support with damage and heal as needed, as well as some armor penetration from this unit. And also note that this unit actually, I custom made this. Here's what she's on, offensive precise. So she actually acts before Clive, so there's a pretty good chance that she magic attacks an armored and kills it before Clive has to deal with it. Also for Lex, you can throw Runic Sword on him. Now he is slower than Clive, so you would want to initiative fix him, maybe with the early Dove Plume by running over and grabbing the Shaman, which is something you could do. So that way he acts first. So you can get the Dove Plume for free by running all the way down and then to the right on the map. And you can get this from recruiting the Shaman for free. So if we did something like this, Dove Plume Runic, so before Clive acts with his big attack, these both go before him based on initiative, and they would be able to magic attack armored to kill an armored if there's just a single armored in the way, and then Clive can go and just like start one rounding everything with a damage boost. Now he gets the damage boost once, but it's still quite useful. And then for this, if you can get extra lapis pendants, you should, because with this setup you can give 2 powerful calls to Clive. He can reset his Assaulting Lance, so this allows him to just keep killing. But little games like Runic Sword and Runic Spear are quite good at getting through armors early on. So let's put him back on Sanguine. Go over the next team. All right, the next team is just kind of like a generic mage bunker buster type thing. So this is not like your hard carry. Here, let's open it up. This is not like a hard carry team. This is like pure support. So what they do is they provide magic assist on towers. They can teleport to help fight bosses. So they can teleport to like a tower you seize if it's within range of the boss to help kill bosses, especially armored bosses. This can specifically be used to bunker bust, which is when you attack an enemy tank group with like mages or runic weapons or whatever, and this whole group's purpose is just to kill the tanks and then let the second group kill the backline. So they typically will have a bad matchup against like mages because he will get melted and these will basically be ineffective against other mages and vice versa. So essentially what this team is just going to be good at is helping you push through armors, and that's all they're going to do. And that's fine. That's all you need to do at times. So let's give her a Lapis Pendant. So now what she can do, now if you can get the early Carnelian, this is the idea behind this. Here, let me show you something cool. All right, so we're actually going to use Sorceress Connection. Or maybe this doesn't stack. I don't think this stacks. Yeah, it says limited. This doesn't stack. All right, never mind about that. We'll do this. All right, so here's how this team would work. He has Azure Crest Great Shield, which you do get from the Witch area. Counter Belt you can get from there as well, or near there. So let's go over the tank. All right, the tank can run whatever weapon you want on him. He can run Runic Blade if you want to help him punch through. So you can have just like a pure anti-mage squad. He can run Unwavering Spear to hit these annoying thieves and things like this. So maybe he kills them. Typically damage kills them, so he could be like a thief killer. He could also be a mage buster. So this is probably better for him, honestly, going for this, because it gives you 150 potency, whereas Sting only has potency if the user is below 50% HP. Also, it targets the magic defense, which is typically lower on frontliners. So situationally, he can run Runic Spear. Now, Counterbelt has physical potency, so there's negative synergy there. But if you're running Counterbelts, you could run like Unwavering and then have True Thrust as needed. True Thrust also attacks a column, which is nice. So he can deal more meaningful damage this way if he can hit multiple things, especially if they're like Scouts or Griffins or something annoying to hit. But Sting really should only be used if other options aren't available. Now, Azure Crest Great Shield gives him an extra passive point. It gives him pretty good guard efficiency. The Counter Belt is very nice. Activates after an enemy attacks with an attack skill. Counter attack an enemy. So I actually turned off his active blocking so that he can just counter attack. Now the counter attack hits for 150. So this actually allows him to put in meaningful damage. So he can get lane nuke with accuracy. He can put in meaningful damage with counter. And this actually might be a decent use case for Hoplite. Now, the big problems with Hoplite are still there of low mobility, but if you teleport using the Witch, really he's just here to deal chip damage and protect these. That's why he's here. And the Witch teleport can kind of make up for his bad mobility if you're willing to burn the Valor to do that. But he basically just tanks, counterattacks, does what he needs to, and then situationally, you can add heavy cover. So, for example, if you know he's not going to be heavy cover, you can just disable it. You can just disable things as needed using the right thumbstick there. But this is a pretty cheap build. You get the shield for free. There's at least 2 Unwavering Spears in the demo that I'm aware of. All right, so this staff. So when you get the Witch, you get this staff with her. You can buy this from the store. And then very likely you have a Lapis Pendant. So one thing that's nice about this build here. So this is what I would do for this. And then, just in case she tries to do it twice, own PPs 2 or more. All right, so here's what will happen with this team order. We enter combat. She does Ice Bolts. You can change her priority to whatever you need it to be. So she Ice Bolts a key threat or just something that's in the way. Maybe you Ice Bolt an enemy tank. And then he fireballs something, very likely killing it. And then he will True Thrust. Now, when he goes to Fireball, she is now out of active points. She will Sorceress Connection him, which gives him 50% more damage. And then she no longer needs magic to magic conferral. Because if we look at what magic conferral says, it just adds magic damage, 50 potency. So it doesn't change if you Sorceress Connection something. So this gives the ally plus 50% magic attack. So his attacks just hit really hard now. And then what she does after that, so he gets conferred, connectioned, and then he gets magic conferred. So she will give him plus 50% or plus 50 magic damage potency. And when he True Thrusts, if he multi-hits, he'll deal 80 physical potency, 80%, so it's 80% multiplier, right? So it's like 0.8. So if you hit a 10, you'd hit an 8. And then he also gets whatever his magic attack is, 0.5. So the nice thing about this is it's extra damage, and it also stacks with Runic Spear if you want to do that. But it gives you the damage either way. So she damage boosts both after using her Ice. He goes for like True Thrust killing. He can counterattack. He has big damage on Fireball. Now, if you can get Carnelian Pendant early, he can Fireball a lot of things and kill them pretty easily. And then you can also have him magic counter, which is quite nice. So activates after an enemy activates or attacks with an active skill. So counter is good. Fire burst can also be good. So situationally, so if something is on fire and then the combat ends, he just nukes everything. So if he fireballs like 2 separate targets, like let's say the fireballs wouldn't kill, you're fighting enemy mages or something, and for whatever reason they go before him, so the burn doesn't kill him, he can fireball afterwards, or fire burst afterwards, or just fire burst in general. But he also has magic counter, which is quite good. So you can situationally go for either or. And he joins with this staff, and she joins with this staff. Now, if you don't have Carnelian, let's say you don't have that because it's kind of hard to get, you could just throw whatever on him. It's like a leather hood, just like double hood for damage. So that way he's like plus 18% damage from this, plus 50% damage when this occurs. She goes before him. Her staff gives initiative plus 3. They both have 10. So she will activate her active skill before him. And then when she gives him the magic, so what Sorceress Connection does, grants ally plus 50%, grants user minus 50% magic attack. So she will give him plus 50% magic attack. So his fireball will be massive as hell and deal a ton of damage. But this is like a pretty good bunker buster team. And you can also do this if you want them to slow push. So this allows them to deal with range assist if there's like an enemy tank in the way and there's a bunch of archers. Or you can do this if you want the magic assist. And then of course, it doesn't matter who the leader is. You can always teleport with her. So she can always teleport to an allied facility or an allied unit. All right, and then Joseph's unit, the final one. Okay, so we have Joseph as the leader, take less damage from magic assist, so this is good for pushing mages. Also, it's fast, look at the speed, 215 mobility. Now he can run a bunch of different things. He has 2 utility slots as well as a shield. So he can be on Runic Sword if armors are a problem. If armors are a problem, you could run something like this. So you could have Flame Bow, Runic Sword. This could be a mage or an archer, doesn't really matter. She is just here for like super heal. This could be a soldier. So this could be a soldier, this could be a mage, or even a warrior. And Joseph on the front is generally pretty strong because he's pretty durable and he can also block. So you could throw him on, you could leave him on Templars, for example, if you just want to leave him on his default gear. Now you don't really need Joseph early game. I know some people like to use him. I also have him on Watchman's Lantern, so he's burn immune, so basically almost nothing can kill him. But something like this is fine, and depending on what you need, like if you need pursuit damage, you can just disable blocking. Maybe you just have 1 block up, and then leave Pursuit on. Pursuit is really good for killing, and he has 2 of them. Now in the case of Pursuit, he's only going to do it once if there's only 1 attack. She's going to be healing. Now you could also replace her with a mage, so if you want just like pure offense, we could just like remove her and then just like add a mage. We can add like Auk or something, or warrior, whatever you want. So now this team is just like a killing team with high mobility. You would not expect this team to last very long without the cleric. He does have an active heal, which is nice. Now if you replace this with like a soldier, I like soldier because it's just good in general. It has spot heal, it has damage, it has lane nuke, it can run lances. So it can help you kill armors on Runic, it can help you kill thieves and griffins on Unwavering. It has other good weapons that I don't have on this save file. But it also can Dancer's Bracelets, boost someone, and it can heal. So it's just a good unit. And then its long thrust is also decent against calves. So plus 50 potency versus calves. But something like this would be good just for killing. Just killing enemies, rushing things. So gauntlets gets you more block rate. Templars is his default equipment. Watchman's Lantern is acquired from the bottom left corner of the map for free pretty easily, pretty early on. And then for this, Dancer's Bracelet has good availability. You could drop Lapis Pendant. Now the nice thing about this setup is you Dancer's Bracelets Joseph twice, which is pretty nice. And then you also have access to whatever lances. So like, let's say she needs Runic Spear. Prioritize Armored. Then she can stab an Armored. Now I believe, yeah, she has lower initiative than Joseph. And this is a custom one. So you could do like a Go-Getter if you need this to act first. So because this was custom created, I did offensive and precise, but you could do Go-Getter for more initiative, specifically to act before Joseph, so the first attack is not wasted on armor, so maybe she hits like an armor. Now this guy, if you want him to act before Joseph, you're going to want the early Dove Plume, which you can get pretty easily. So like early Dove Plume, and what this does is it allows him to nuke down an armored, and then she can focus on doing something else, maybe Unwavering Spear. Let's say there's like a thief. So you can really flex into different roles. That's the nice thing about Soldier. It's very like generic because it fits into anything, and it's pretty much always good to use. There's very few situations where Soldier is bad because it contributes to healing, it contributes to damage, it can target evasive enemies, griffins and thieves. It can target armored enemies, or any blocker. So it can target fighters and hoplites. Its only weakness is really that it can be blocked. It can also lane nuke by default, and it's really good at buffing allies. It's good at just sitting on a Lapis Pendant and Dancer's Bracelet and just like buffing someone. But 2 slices, 2 pursuits, these both attack. Now this will attack pursuit. This will attack pursuit. Or I'm sorry, this will attack, and then this will attack, and he'll pursuit this. So he gets his pursuits off. You can use guards as needed. You can toggle them on and off. But these are just early teams. I'm not going to go into 4-man teams yet. There are a lot of crazy broken 4-man teams. This is just to get you through like early game expert pretty easily. All of this stuff is early availability as well, or it's reasonably easy to get if you just save money and get the golden egg immediately, like in my money making guide. The golden egg, so that's another thing to point out. If you don't have lapis pendant for extra passive points, golden egg is fantastic on your main killing squad. And another thing you can do is golden egg rotation. So you have an accessory slot. Before combat, if something is not equipped, you can grab it no matter what. So even if you're about to enter combat, like if you're on the battle, like the pre-battle screen where it's like battle formation and so on. So if something is unequipped, you can grab it. So you can actually have golden egg in a state of like limbo where you just equip it to every single group, every single combat, and then afterwards you unequip it. So you just throw it on a utility and then remove it. And the other thing you can do too is you can actually just be on like lapis pendant, or even be on nothing. So you can be on nothing. So you can have like a lapis pendant sitting in your inventory and a golden egg, and then you can pull them out as needed and then unequip them. Now it's not difficult to do this, you just have to remember to do this, but you can basically have like few items being used as long as they're not equipped by something, and just keep like unequipping them and re-equipping them each battle. So that way your entire team basically benefits from having items. But yeah, that's it for this one. These are like the early comps. This one you can add a mage to. This one you can have a soldier on. This one you could add Clive instead of Chloe here, or Joseph for more damage, because these two are pretty hard to kill, and the only thing that tends to damage them are like ranged and mage assists. So that's really its only weakness. But everything has like a pro and a con, and let me remake the squad so you can check them out all at once. All right, let me see. Then this had the soldier, Paulette, and then for Joseph, you could run this. You could run a cleric. Giving him a cleric makes him basically unkillable. The soldier's nice because it gives more damage, but this squad would be fine as well. It has like thief counter. You can get armor penetration through runic blade on him and flame bow on him. So you always have access to these things, right? You always have access to some kind of form of armor penetration, which is typically the biggest problem early on, is enemy armors preventing your physical units from popping off. So even having just the right weapons on physical units is totally fine, or just throwing a mage on the team. So like drop the cleric for a mage, drop the archer for a mage, drop the archer for a witch. Witches are nice because they give you magic attack with magic conferral, especially when they have a lapis amulet. Both are pretty good at dealing with armors. Okay, so that's it for this one. Definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, found this useful, and I'll see you next one. Peace.